So since my last video, which was about March 13th, something like that, I think it was, I talked about the iPad 3, or the new iPad as Apple seemed to want to call it, even though everybody else is calling it iPad 3. And since then, I've actually got one myself. I got it on the day of release, whenever that was. It was towards the end of March, I believe. And I has it in my hand. I'm going to take this stupid cover off. I'm also going to unlock it. But basically, it is... well, I'll tell you why I did buy it. It was for one very good reason, and that was because of the screen. Because the screen is amazingly good. I mean, I can show it to you now, but there's not really, unless you sort of see it, you can't even fathom the quality of it. It's just insane. You can't even believe how much astounding quality it is. I mean, this red display is just ridiculously insane. I did think, which is when, like what I said in my previous video, I did think that actually I was going to be I'm going to come back to like 1080p monitors and I'm going to want a better screen. But that isn't really the case, because this is a small screen, and you've got a fantastic screen, but it's a small screen, so it doesn't make that much difference, in terms of me thinking, well, I want to go back to my big screens because they're huge, because they are so big. You don't notice the fact that it isn't whatever this is, some ridiculous resolution. But that, I mean, really, is the striking thing about it is the resolution. Really, is just ridiculous. That is really the only thing, and probably the only reason I really bought it. Spec-wise, pretty much exactly the same, apart from quad-core graphics. Performance-wise, I'm going to have to say that it's the same since iOS 5 came out. It's been buggy. I have to say this has been. It's been reasonably buggy. There's been a few things that's crashed miserably on, including Safari again. But I think this is just something that Apple need to work on ironing out, because there's quite a few bits in it that just are so buggy, and that's just with iOS 5. There's nothing to do with the iPad necessarily. It happens on the iPhone, and it happened on the old iPad too. It's just some of the things just seem to crash out on, and this isn't like third-party developer apps either. This is Apple's own apps, things that are built into the OS themselves, things like Safari and things like that. But anyway, so that's that. Picture-wise, what I shall do is I shall post some sample pictures going through, just so you can get some sort of idea as to samples of different bits and pieces. Because the camera is a hell of a lot better now. I don't know why you really want to take a picture with your camera with the camera on here, because it's a huge device. But I mean, you can, and the camera is amazingly good. I have to say, I'm quite impressed actually. 5 megapixel rear-facing camera. I think the front-facing's, I don't know what that one is. I think it might be a 2 megapixel. It's 640 by something. I can't remember how much it is. It's not great. It's a really rubbishy camera, but it's only for Skype and things like that. So. But that is pretty much it. There's only one little thing, which is it's slightly heavier. You do, I suppose you notice it if you, well, I suppose you notice it if you sort of make a habit of noticing it, if you see what I mean. So if you think about it, then yes, you can feel it's heavier. But if you don't think about it, you can't. Like if it's in my bag, I don't notice any difference. I was holding an iPad 2 and an iPad 3 side by side, and I notice a difference. But as it is fine. There's not anything else to really report. It seems to feel nicer. Like the way they've done the metal this time seems to feel nicer. Screen wise, in terms of like tactile screen, it's exactly the same as the old one. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Just the screen, the actual screen itself for visuals is absolutely orgasmic. It really is amazing. And that's really the only reason I really bought it. There would have been no other reason. I mean, if they had slightly improved performance, I probably wouldn't have bothered. But the fact that this has got, it's quad-core graphics, but if that's all they did to it, I wouldn't have bothered, because there would have been no point. But yeah, that's pretty much it, really. My take on the new iPad, the iPad 3. Still works with the smart case. Still an amazing product, and actually even more so now with an amazing screen. It's just a shame that there's some apps that don't actually take advantage of fully of the Retina display. Things like the Times app, which I use to read the paper on, that doesn't take full advantage of the screen, which is really rubbish. But apart from that, yeah, I would definitely recommend getting it. And that's pretty much it. Peace out.